Hello mga students, good morning, good afternoon, good evening sa inyong lahat. Let's have a discussion on bonds payable for this video lecture. Um, I don't know if I will have to cut this lecture into two, for the discussion on the bonds payable because this involves a lot of computation. But ganito lang yan, class. When you think of the computation of bonds payable, you just think of how notes payable are computed. Okay? Why, sir? Papaanong kaparehas lamang po ng notes payable? In the sense of computing for the present value. Okay? So, pag bonds kasi, we are using a new financial instrument. The issuer of the bonds. Okay? Paki-take note ha ng difference between the issuer and the holder of the bonds because the issuer of the bonds, no? Siya yung source ng instrument. Sa kanya nang galing yung certificate of indebtedness. Instead of a promise to pay, kasi di ba sa notes payable, meron tayong ginagawang promissory note wherein the borrower promises to pay at a certain future time. Dito mas formalized. Meron kang certificate of indebtedness na ini-issue doon sa investor mo, yung mangungutang, yung nagpautang sa iyo, yung nagbigay sa iyo ng pera, yung provider of funds. So in exchange for that, you will be receiving a cash proceed. May matatanggap ka na pera. But that is a money borrowed from the holder. Okay. So from the other perspective, yun yung sinasabi natin before na investment in bonds. Yun nga lang, hindi po natin tinatawag ito na bonds receivable, no? Kung hindi, investment in bonds. Okay. Madali lang naman po ito, no? Kung na-master mo na ang computation or yung pagkuha ng present value factor. Kasi dito sa material na ipapakita ko sa inyo, no, masyado ko na lang hinimay para lang ma-appreciate po ninyo kung papaano natin kinukuha yung present value factor. Pero yung rule lang naman natin dyan, you have to consider papaano ba yung future cash flow. If you will be paying the principal in series of payments, no, equal payments, then you need to consider the ordinary annuity. If there is an advance payment, the annuity due. Okay? Kapag lump sum, one time yung payment ng principal, di gawin natin or kunin natin yung present value factor for single payment. So yun lang naman ang ating parang guiding principle para malaman natin papaano ba natin makukuha yung present value or the carrying amount at initial recognition. Ang nagiging problema nyo lang dyan is that when you compute for the present value factor, nakakalimutan po ninyo i-consider yung periodic payments ng interest and therefore hindi po na isasama sa computation yung present value ng interest. So, ingat lamang po tayo doon. Okay, so let's have this first first ba ito? Tab or work, nga ito sa Excel, nakalimutan ko bigla. Okay, but what you are seeing on the screen, let's have this first scenario. On January 1, 2023, an entity issues a 5-year, 1 million, 15% bonds. The effective interest rate for similar bonds is 12%. Interest on the bonds is payable semi-annually on June 30 and December 31. So we need to compute for the issue price of the bonds. Magkano yung proceeds na matatanggap po natin? Issue price. Mag-i-issue ka ng bonds, magkano ang matatanggap mo? And compare the journal entries from the point of view of the issuer and of the investor para meron tayong comparison. Okay. Eto class, masyado ko lamang po itong in-exaggerate. But if you know how to use your basic calculator, okay, you need just to press 1 point. Siyempre, kailangan nyo rin dapat maintindihan sino sa dalawang percentage yung effective interest rate at sino yung nominal interest rate. Because in the computation of your present value, we are using the effective interest rate, and that is your 12% here. Okay, yun nga lang class. Pagdating sa mga payments na semi-annually, mag-iingat po tayo doon. Kasi although 15% yung nominal and 12% yung effective, these are presented annually. And when you are paying interest semi-annually, okay, the tendency is for your period to double. Kasi dito, kung 5 years ka, no, kung annual yung payment ng interest, edi 5 beses kang magbabayad ng interest. Kaso dito ang mangyayari, dodoblehin mo yung period, magiging 10 yung period, tapos yung 12% mo ay magiging kalahati. Okay, kasi parang sinasabi natin, effective interest rate mo 6% kada semi-annual, 12% dalawang payments in 1 year. Okay, so ang gagawin natin, 6%, so 1.06 divide 10 equals, no? Ito yung makukuha mo, 0.558395 minus 1 divided by 0.6. Ito naman yung ordinary annuity, no, na present value factor. So dito pinakita ko lang sa inyo, no, na kung siyempre kung hindi ka marunong, no, sa iyong basic calculator, no, 1 divided by 1.06 divided by 1.06 and so on hanggang sa pang-10 period. O, ganyan naman siya. Okay, but you just ignore this if you are already an expert in your basic calculator and you know what to do. You just consider, no, the formula for yourselves, no, once you have a copy of this. Okay, so eto ha, important note lang, kailangan, ito yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, pag yung payment mo ay semi-annually, yung discount rate, hahatiin natin, yung period, dodoblehin natin. Okay, so ang computation ng issue price mo ay manggagaling sa papaano. Kung 5 years, 1 million ang iyong principal, so 1 million babayaran mo in 5 years, kaso nag 10 periods ka, edi 1 million times this, 0.558395. Kaya, no, class, asaan na yon? Present value ng maturity value. Okay? Present value of the principal. I'd rather say, no, present value of the principal. Okay. Ayan. Samantalang, you are paying, no, supposedly 150,000. 1 million times 15%, supposedly you are paying 150,000 every year. Pero, hinati mo ito. So, 75,000 ka every semi-annual, no, every 6 months. Multiply mo ngayon dito sa 7.360087. Ang present value factor nila ay ito. Ay, present value, hindi present value factor. Okay? 552,007. Pag pinagsama mo sila, yan po yung issue price. The answer is 1,110,401. And this gives us a premium on bonds because the amount of proceeds received from the issuance of bonds ay greater than the face amount of 1 million. Therefore, any difference is your premium on bonds amounting to this 110,401. Okay? Oh, you can also consider this alternate computation. Ano? Ang stated interest mo ay 7.5%. No? Your effective interest ay 6%. Therefore, you have a difference of 1.5% sa interest rate. Okay? Tignan mo itong solution. Ang face value mo ay 1 million. Multiply mo ng interest rate na 1.5%. So meron kang 15,000 na na-compute. And then you multiply it by the present value factor na series of payments, ordinary annuity, this one. Okay? So may premium on bonds ka na makukompute na 110,401. Okay, so that is just your alternative way of solving for this. Okay, tandaan po ninyo, when the stated interest rate is greater than your effective interest rate, meron po tayong premium na nakukompute. And it's the other way around if the EIR is greater than your stated interest rate. Okay? So ito yung ating journal entry from the point of view of the issuer, the borrower of funds, no? Debit cash para doon sa proceeds na natanggap, 1,110,401. Credit bonds payable for the face amount. No, yung bonds payable natin, nire-record natin ito at the face amount, no? Tapos, any difference is a credit, no, to premium kapag premium or debit to discount kapag discount. Okay, so dito, credit ka ng premium on bonds payable being an adjunct account. Okay? From the point of view of the investor, it's just this entry. Debit investment in debt securities and credit to cash. Okay? So, that's it. Ano? Now, paano kung baligtarin natin yung effective interest rate at saka yung ating nominal interest rate? 12 and 15%. So dito magkakaroon naman tayo ng discount, no? Kasi mas malaki yung EIR mo as compared with your nominal interest rate. So pag ginawa po ninyo yan sa calculator, 1.06 divide equals, hindi 1.06 na. Your effective interest rate in this case is 15% divided by 2, edi 1.075 divide equals, no? Ito po ang mga present value factors na makukuha ninyo. Yung nasa kaliwa is the single payment, yung nasa kanan is the ordinary annuity. Okay? You do the same computation, ito naman po ang kakalabasan. Magkakaroon ka ng issue price na 897,039 with a discount on bonds na 102,961 kasi mas maliit yung issue price sa iyong face value. Okay? Or alternatively, no, gagawin nyo po yung difference in interest rate multiplied by the present value factor ng series of payments. O ayan po ang magiging solution natin. Okay? So yung journal entry mo, ang difference lang naman is that since discount ito ngayon, meron kang debit na discount on bonds payable for this amount. Tapos sa investor side, debit investment in debt securities and credit to cash. Okay? So that is an example of how you issue bonds, no? Whether at a premium or at a discount. Now, let us consider the premium or discount amortization. Class, no? Yung premium or discount ay ina-amortize po natin over the life of the note. Okay? Over the life of the note, no? So kung halimbawa, inisyo natin 5 years, okay? E di i-amortize po natin yung ating premium or discount over 5 years, no? It has an effect in our interest expense. Tandaan po ninyo, class, that the effective interest rate is the basis for your computation of interest expense, whereas your nominal interest rate is the basis for your interest payable, yung amount na babayaran natin. Okay? And when the effective interest rate is different from your nominal interest rate, nagkakaroon tayo ng premium or discount, but it has to be amortized. And that will have an impact to the carrying amount of your bonds. No? Kung paano po natin ginagawa ito sa notes payable. Okay? So, sa example natin kanina, sa first scenario, kung saan meron tayong premium on bonds payable na 110,401, paano po ang effect niyan subsequently sa mga susunod natin na periods, no? Especially na semi-annual yung payment natin ng interest. Makikita po ninyo dito, gumawa tayo ng amortization schedule. Okay? Since semi-annual yung payment ng interest. Okay. Suppose on June 30, 2023, the first payment of your interest. Okay? Pag tinignan po ninyo itong amortization table, ang babayaran natin na interest ay 75,000. Pero ang effective interest rate natin ay 66,624. And take note that your effective interest rate na 6% ay nakabase sa outstanding o yung amortized cost ng ating financial liability, yung ating bonds here. So halimbawa, on June 30, ang reference ng iyong 6% ay ito, 1,110,401 times 6%, ito po yung kakalabasan niya. Pag tinignan po ninyo yung formula natin sa Excel, okay, ito, multiplied by 6%, that's the answer. Okay, now, meron kang difference na 8,376. That is your amortization of premium. And the effect of the premium amortization, no, is that your carrying amount will be decreasing papunta doon sa face amount. Kasi galing ka ng 1,110,401, at the end of the term of the bond, it should now be equal to its carrying amount of 1 million. Kaya pag kinumpleto natin yan, mapapansin mo, paliit ng paliit yung carrying amount or the amortized cost of the bonds papuntang 1 million. Okay. Ang debit mo, interest expense ka. Okay? Siyempre, interest expense, 66,624. Credit ka ng cash. Okay? Tignan ninyo ito ha. Pinaghiwalay ko kasi yung ating journal entry. Okay? Nag-debit ka ng interest expense. Okay? Nag-credit ka ng, so, unahin natin ito. Yung nominal interest rate. Okay? Ito kasi yung babayaran natin. Therefore, debit ka interest expense. Credit ka ng cash. 75,000. Okay. Plus, pag dating dito sa effective interest rate, ang effect niyan is bababa ang iyong interest expense. Kasi ito yung binayaran mo, okay, pero ito lang dapat yung interest expense mo. So, anong mangyayari? Okay, the effect is that kung ang normal balance ng ating premium on bonds payable ay naka-credit, pag inamortize natin yan, ide-debit mo ngayon yung premium on bonds payable at i-credit natin yung interest expense for this amount, 8,376. So debit premium on bonds payable, credit interest expense. Dito ang ginawa natin, pinaghiwalay natin siya. Okay? Sa investor's point of view, debit cash, credit interest income. Para doon sa natanggap niya na pera. Okay? Tapos, debit interest income, credit investment in debt securities. Although, if you are to compound this, at para hindi ka malito, actually depende sa'yo kung saan mo ito mas naiintindihan. Separate journal entries or compound journal entries. Basta pag compound journal entries, ito yung iyong debit na interest expense, ito yung credit sa cash or interest payable. Tapos, etong amortization ay debit sa premium on bonds. So, debit interest expense, okay, 66,624, okay? Debit, premium on bonds payable, and then credit to cash. Okay? Paano natin yan i-reconcile? 75, binawasan natin ng 8,376. This is your 66,624. Okay? Debit ka ng premium on bonds payable for this amount. And then, credit ka ng cash or interest payable. Depende kung binayaran na or hindi pa. Okay? So, yan class, yung ating journal entry. Kapag amortization naman ng discount, edi kabaligtaran naman yan. Mas malaki dapat yung effective interest mo. So, mas malaki dapat ang interest expense mo as compared sa amount of cash that you will be paying for your interest. Therefore, debit ka ng interest expense for this amount, credit ka ng cash for this amount, o credit ka ng discount on bonds payable for this amount. Ang sinampulan lang po natin dito is the first payment. Subsequently, maiiba lang yung mga amounts pero pare-parehas po yung ating journal entry. Okay? So debit interest expense for this amount, Okay? Kung ano yung makikita mo sa column na ito. And then credit cash para doon sa actual payments mo based on your interest rate stated, no? Okay? And then discount on bonds payable, ikini-credit natin kasi yung normal balance ng discount on bonds payable mo ay naka-debit. This being an adjunct, a contra account. Okay? So, ayun ano class, that's how you amortize your premium or discount on bonds payable. All right. So, pag ano no, sa umpisa lang naman ito actually challenging. Pag prinactice at nang prinactice mo ito, no, over time, maiintindihan mo at ma-appreciate mo siya at masasabi mo, uy, ganun lang pala siya kadali. Okay. Dito sa example natin, wala po tayong consideration ng mga transaction cost. Pero tandaan po ninyo that in the measurement of our financial assets or financial liabilities, no? Pag financial assets, okay, except for those measured at fair value through profit or loss, no? Transaction costs are added. Whereas, pag financial liabilities, except for those measured at FVPL, no, yung transaction costs are deducted. Okay. So class, ang nangyayari kapag meron po tayong transaction cost, no, nababago kasi yung ating effective interest. Okay, take for instance this. Assume that XYZ sells its 1 million face value 5-year 12. Okay, eto pa rin yun. Ano? Tama ba? Okay, similar na. Okay, the bonds were sold at 110. Pagdating sa bonds, no, pag mga ganito, yung at 110, at 98, at 105, or kung ano man, that is expressed as a percentage. So, yung 5 million, 1 million mo, multiply mo at 110%, okay? E di, ang proceeds na matatanggap mo ay 1,100,000. Okay, meron tayong bond issue cost. Okay, the bond issue costs are your directly attributable costs. Okay, incurred in ano no, in issuing your bonds, your financial instruments. Kung 15,000 ang na-incur mo na BIC, yung transaction cost, consisting of promotions, engraving, printing, and underwriter's commission, eto class ay ilalabas mo, no? Manggagaling yan sa iyong sariling pera. So, syempre, magkikredit ka niya ng cash. Okay. Plus, if we are talking about financial liabilities, ito po ay magiging kabawasan sa ating premium or discount. Hindi po natin ito ibabawas sa bonds payable. Now, from the borrower's point of view, titignan nyo po, ganito siya, no? Kung paghihiwalay natin yung entry para sa issuance ng bonds at saka sa bond issue cost, debit ka ng cash at 110%, credit ka ng 1 million at the face amount, and credit ka ng premium on bonds payable at 100,000. Tapos, kapag meron kang issue cost, bond issue cost, pag premium ka, edi ibabawas mo yung bond issue cost sa premium. Or kung meron kang discount, idadagdag mo ngayon sa discount. So, basta, no, maglalabas ka ng pera, naka-credit yung cash, tapos ang kabangga niyan, either premium or discount. But never your bonds payable. Kasi hindi po natin ito dinidirect apply doon sa bonds payable. We measure your bonds always at its face value, plus or minus premium or discount. Okay? So, yan ano class. Now, dito from the investor's point of view, debit ka ng investment in debt securities, credit ka ng cash. Kung si investor yung naglabas ng transaction cost, siya yung nagbayad, no, eh di debit siya ng investment in debt securities, credit siya ng cash. Okay? Kung si kung si investor yung maglalabas ng pera, kung siya yung magbabayad ng bond issue cost. Pero kung ang nagsettle nito is si borrower, syempre wala siyang entry dito kasi wala naman siyang binayaran. Okay? Now, baka lang kasi sabihin niyo, sir, bakit pareha sila naglabas ng pera? Hindi po kung sakali lang. Okay? So, ito po yung ating guidance no sa IFRS 9. Except for trade receivables within the scope of paragraph 5.1.3. At initial recognition, an entity shall measure FA or FL at its fair value plus or minus transaction cost, except for those measured at FVPL. Okay? So, pag sinamarize natin itong excerpt na yan. Okay, now, dito class, no, hindi given yung ating effective interest rate. Ang given lamang po dito is your bank's stated interest rate na 12%. Now, sinasabi natin, kapag nagko-compute tayo, no, kapag na-consider natin yung bond issue cost, nababago yung effective interest rate. Okay? So, pag tumataas class yung yield or yung effective interest rate, bumababa yung present value. Pag mababa yung yield, mas mataas yung present value. Dito, no, from 1.1 million, we are expecting that your stated interest rate is greater than your effective interest rate. Okay, kasi meron tayong premium. Pero ngayon, dahil dati 1.1 siya, ngayon 1 million, magkano na? 100 minus 15. E di, ang iyong ang iyong amortized cost or yung carrying amount ng iyong bonds payable ay 1,085,000. We are expecting na mas mababa siya, no, doon sa original, no, na effective interest rate. Kaso hindi naman given. So how do we compute it? No, we can use the interpolation. At papaano yan? Hindi natin alam, no, kung magkano yung effective interest rate. Pero alam natin na yung bond issue price is 1,085,000. But for now, we can say that your effective interest rate is lower than the stated interest rate of 12% kasi naka-premium tayo. Okay, now, papaano po natin yan i-compute? If we are to assume, okay, dito ano, mag-assume tayo, what if my effective interest rate is 9.5%? Magkano yung mako-compute ko? Okay? Excuse me. So parang nagta-trial and error tayo dito. Ano? Hindi natin alam. Pero pag binabaan ko yung effective interest rate, I am expecting na mas mababa yung makukuha ko na present value, di ba? So pag kinompute ko yan, ang 9.5 ko, based on 9.5%, ang present value ko ay 1,095,993. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Hindi pa rin, ano, kasi ang sagot natin ay 1,085,000. So, we do another one. Tandaan po ninyo, no, nasa case natin, series of payments, series pa? Series of payments ba? 1 million, 5-year, 12%. Series of payment ka sa interest na 12%, no? Tapos yung face value mo, babayaran mo one time, so lump sum. Okay? So, hindi ko na po ito need to elaborate, no? Lump sum ka for the single payment ng principal, tapos series of payment ng interest ay series of payment. So, if we are to assume the effective interest rate at 10%, okay, ito naman ang kakalabasan natin. Meron kang na-compute na 1,075,816. So, anong mapapansin mo dito? Napapagitnaan na siya, no? Somewhere in between this. So, 10% ka, ito yung nakuha mong present value. If 9.5%, ito naman. So, baka 9.75, di kaya. We can interpolate, no? Paano natin yan gagawin? Okay? Plus, no? Ito lang yung makikita nyo po dito ay reference lang natin, ha? Para kung saan natin kinuha itong mga present value factor. But you can do it directly in your calculator para mas mabilis. Now, the process of interpolation is this. Ito yung nakuha mo at what percent? At this, no, which we don't know. Ito yung bond issue price mo, 1,085,000. Okay? At 9.5%, ito yung makukuha mo, no? 1,095,993. Okay? At 9.5%. Now, ibawas natin yung nakuha natin, no, dito sa 10%. And how is that? Babawas lang natin, no? Ilalagay natin sa numerator, ilalagay natin sa denominator. Bawas-bawas. So, sa taas, ang difference mo is 9,184. Dito naman sa gitna, sa baba, ang makukuha mong difference ay 20,177. Pag kinuha mo yan, dinivide mo, ang kakalabasan mo ay 0.4552. Okay. Nakukuha ba? Okay, nakukuha. Now, i-multiply natin saan? Sabi dito, multiply by the difference, no? 10% minus 9.5. Yung ginamit natin na example dito, no? 10% and 9.5. Therefore, you have your 0.50% or 0.5%. Pag minultiply mo yan dito sa 0.4552, ang kakalabasan mo ay ito, no? 0.23%. Ibawas mo siya ngayon dito sa 10%, meron ka ngayong 9.77%, and that is your approximate yield. Okay? Pag sinampulan natin yan, 1.0977. Ito ang makukuha natin ng mga present value factors. On the left is your single payment. On the right is your ordinary annuity. Pag sinubukan natin yan, kunin, okay, ito yung kakalabasan nating present value. 1,085,034, and that approximates, no, your what? Your 1,085,000. Nakikita ba? Class, no? Kung sakali man na lumabas ito sa mga exams, sa mga quizzes or evals or kung ano man ano, given naman kadalasan yung mga choices, it is a trial and error method. Sampulan mo sila, no? Tapos hanapin mo saan yung pinakamalapit. Okay? So that is how we deal. Kapag may mga transaction cost, nababago yung effective interest rate. Okay? So, I think hanggang dito muna itong first video lecture natin because subsequently, ito yung mga natin nagiging concern at challenge pagdating sa mga bonds and even sa notes when there is accrual on the bonds issue and when the bond year does not coincide with the reporting period. Kasi dito may mga consideration tayo with the accrual of interest. Okay. So, puputulin ko muna, I will have to end this video lecture. Maraming salamat. If you have any questions, you may comment down below. Okay? Thank you very much, class. Bye-bye.